Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Into some theme music, sports related, some anthems in about 4 to 5 minutes. I'm going to make you wait on it. But in the meantime, is there a better one than this right here? I mean, put that on your alarm clock. I don't know. What is it, 5 a.m., 5:30, 6 a.m.? Don't come knocking on my door. I am R.E.M.ing at that particular time. But, isn't that better than the wife? Isn't that better than the dog? Isn't that better than the neighbor that's cranking up the John Deere? I just don't know. I think it's happy. I think it gets the cobwebs out. It does for me. All right? I mean, this show it's been considered year after year after year a cure for insomnia. Right? Very, very boring, and that's why we go with electricity to get things started. So, that is the truth, and we always speak the truth on Into the Night. Great to have you with us, man. What a day. What another just incredible time of year. May's rocked. I don't need June. I mean, you can June me on this and June me on that, and tell me about is it April showers bring May flowers? May flowers bring June what? Do we know?
Heat.
JJ?
Oh, my God. That's one of the hottest times down here for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's getting hot.
My God. Today was brutal.
I was reading today the GF's in Texas for a week, visiting her sons and their families. And they said Florida and Texas, like, off to record temperatures.
I believe it.
So far this month. And it's
I'm not complaining.
No. That's why I moved here. Absolutely. You were just in Connecticut.
I was in the pool today, dude.
No.
And when this weekend in Connecticut, I was in a jacket.
Yeah. And listen, I'll complain now. I'll complain, but I don't complain about the heat. That's the reason why I came down here. So anyway, but the month of May is rocked. It really has. I think it's just been an incredible month. And it continues tonight, game one of the Western Conference Finals. It'll be Dallas and Minnesota on the hardwood. After last night, Boston did their best to try to lose a game. Unfortunately for Indiana, they kept turning the ball over late. Boston got a three-pointer from Brown, then won it by 5 in the overtime period, the extra 5 minutes. So they go up 1-0 there in the Eastern Conference. But TNT, they have become, I think, so identifiable with the NBA, without any question, okay? And I've gone back and forth. There was a period in my life where I loved Berman, and I loved Olbermann, and I loved Dan Patrick, and I loved SportsCenter. And I used to live for Baseball Tonight, the original Baseball Tonight. Remember Peter Gammons and Harold Reynolds and Carl it was so good. Right? College football game day back in its infancy. I mean, you can go back to our friend Tim Brando and Beano Cook. But, remember Craig James was the first one in with Fowler in Corso. And then, I don't know, he's running for something. He's running for governor, senator, mayor, or whatever it was. And he made a colossal career mistake, entered Dr. Herbie. Things have never been the same since. That used to be such a great show. I can't watch it anymore. I won't lie to you, okay? I find myself watching Urban Meyer on Fox. That's how bad I am towards today's college football pregame. With Reese Davis, Desmond Howard. Has Desmond ever picked an underdog? I mean, his name should be chalk. All he does is pick favorite after favorite after favorite. And I just don't get it anymore. TNT, with Ernie Johnson, Charles Barkley, Shaq, and Kenny Smith, is the best product in sports. whether it's pregame, in-game, halftime, postgame. They are phenomenal. And I say this, if I was to rank things, and it's changed through the years, okay, if I'm ranking it now, I probably would go hockey. I got to put football in it too because it pays the bills. Football moves the needle. This just in, hockey doesn't. Okay? I probably would go back and forth right now. What's third for me? Is it the PGA Tour or is it Major League Baseball? I'm still a baseball lover. I really am. And then clearly number 5 for me is basketball. And, I say that college and pro. Obviously, college and pro football are huge. I'm just taking sports. I shouldn't have said the PGA Tour. I should say golf, right? Whether it's the LIV or anything else that's put into it. And that's changed for me over the years. But I'm telling you, the best studio show is with a sport that I think has fallen on some really difficult times. College basketball is almost unwatchable. With the transfer portal, yeah, it has an effect on a 85-man scholarship roster in football, as we know. But, man, does it crush the college basketball game. It just does. Whether you want to admit it or not, it's not the same product. It's also not the same product in the NBA. The great team game is way, way, way behind us. And, today it's all about individuals. But anyway, there's talk that this is it for TNT. And that after the 25-26 season, so you at least will get them, for the completion of this year, then the start of next year, and into 25, and then 25-26, you're going to get them for, a few more years, right? I guess you can maybe put it in line once they get this stadium built here in Jacksonville. There's all this talk that, they are getting ready to leave. And their next stop could be to our great friend, John Tesh and NBC. Oh, my goodness, what an anthem. The flowing mane, the blonde hairs of John Tesh bouncing and behaving. Come on, admit it, guys. You want to be just like him. I do. All you ladies out there, maybe that one cheat. Come on, husband, allow it. It's John Tesh, for crying out loud. Apparently, that's going to happen. So that could be it for TNT. And, Charles Barkley he's a god. I loved him as a player, even though he played against Boston's biggest rival. For those who say the Celtics' biggest rival is the Lakers, that's such a glory cut. That's such of allowing the peasants to take the axe and pound and pound and pound and pound and get ready to knock down that tree. It's kind of like Kid Rock. When I saw him here at concert, it's like Kid Rock's doing guitar, Kid Rock's singing. Before you know, Kid Rock goes around, kicks the drummer out of his kit, and all of a sudden Kid Rock, during like the best part of the song is doing drums. Comes in for the glory cut, right? That's what happens. When you look at Philadelphia, that was the biggest rival, the Eastern Conference. So it wasn't L.A. Boston. It was great in the 80s, and I know that, Kobe and Shaq, they knocked off Allen and Pierce and Garnett. We saw a little bit of a rivalry there. But no, it's Philly. At least in my opinion, it's Philly. They're closer to one another. Still, I loved Allen Iverson, and I love Charles Barkley. And Barkley is, without any question, the most animated and expressive analyst that we have. He also has separate rules, completely separate rules. I'm convinced that Charles Barkley could show up almost naked and say whatever it is that he wants about anyone, and he wouldn't even get a slap on the wrist. He has got his own rules. He has got the Jordan rules of today's broadcasting, and it is what it is. I happen to love it. Frankly, I kind of wish there was a little bit more of it. We're way too hypersensitive in this cancel culture era that we find ourselves in, where and this includes myself, there are people out there that are just begging for us to slip up. Oh, can't wait. Misery loves company. Just find a mistake. Find something that crossed an assorted line. You'll smile if someone's going to lose a job. Well, it could happen to me. It could happen to all of us. Never going to happen to Charles Barkley. I mean, some may think that Skip Bayless or Stephen A. Smith are untouchable and that they can take it to directions and bring it to depths that no one else can. Maybe, but it doesn't compare to Charles Barkley. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I would be saddened by that. I think it's always been far and away. As a matter of fact, you can almost make the case it's more entertaining than the games that they play. That's so good, in fact, they are. Now, TNT is still involved. We've watched them, if you're a National Hockey League fan, throughout the first couple of rounds of the playoffs. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of people out there think they've done a much better job than ESPN, still really trying to digest the Mark Messier, PK Subban studio show on ESPN. I don't get it, but anyway, I'm not going to waste a lot of your time on that. TNT today did finalize a deal, which is going to actually bring them the college football playoffs starting this year. Okay? What they have done is they have licensed first-round games with ESPN. So they're going to get 2 first-round games this year and next year. The seasons 2024 and 2025. Warner Brothers made this announcement earlier today along with ESPN. And it'll also include 2 quarterfinal games beginning in the seasons 2026, 2027, and 2028. Good for TNT. Good for college football. The more, the better. The reason why I brought this up, we are so, as a country, we want so much change. We want change in everything, right? We want change with our laws. We want change in our government, whether it's national, whether it's local. We want a change with everything. Outside of your comfort level when it comes to watching sporting events. Look at Fox a few years ago, how they failed miserably when they tried to cover the PGA Tour. Greg Norman was in and out. He was fired. Joe Buck, who's one of the most talented behind the mic of anyone that we're aware of. I mean, the guy is outstanding. Whether you like him or not, he is great on baseball, and he is fantastic on football. Is he a little bit self-serving? Is he a little bit of an elitist? Does he look down at you and me? Sure, but he's still really, really good. Was the golf coverage that bad, or was it you're not used to it? You didn't recognize the names. It wasn't Nance. It wasn't Johnny Miller at the time. It wasn't who am I thinking of? Dan Hicks, whoever it was at NBC. Probably Paul Azinger at that particular time, and the on-course reporters and the in-studio interviews, whatever. There is that comfort level that we get, and you're going to see a massive change with that in college football, and you see it every year in the NFL. The NFL. And you could bring up the situation with Greg Olson, who, yesterday gets the outstanding personality and event analyst for Fox. Number 1. He got it over every single color analyst. He's also taken a $7 million pay cut at Fox because you're bringing in Tom Brady and you're paying him north of $30 million a year. I mean, what's Tom Brady going to do that's going to bring more? If you're a Green Bay Packer or a Chicago Bears fan, whether you're in Wisconsin, Illinois, or Jacksonville, you got to watch the game. Are more people going to go to the television set because they know that Greg Olson's out and Tom Brady's in? I've always been under the belief of no way. But maybe the Taylor Swift just enormous story proves me wrong. Okay, and that's why these television executives get paid incredible amounts of money because they know things that I do not. But anyway, you're gonna, the SEC's left CBS. Forever you loved Vern, right? Then Vern couldn't pronounce this, pronounce that. If you got where he was, yada, yada, yada. Him and Gary Danielson. I loved Vern. I miss Vern. Okay, he's out. Then it was Brad Nessler. In my personal opinion, I think Nessler is becoming somewhat of a curmudgeon. He's kind of turning into Al Michaels, too, right in front of our eyes. If there's a flag or if there's a time, it's like Brad's checking his watch. And it pains me to say that because I used to really, really, really enjoy the call of Brad Nessler. But it just doesn't feel the same for me anymore. But that's going to change. Okay? So you're going to be watching college football all year. No matter where you get these games, the plethora of what you have on Disney, whether it's ABC or all the ESPNs, Fox, NBC, everything that you have, and then all of a sudden, you're going to get to a college football playoff. And TNT, unless they sublease some broadcasters from another network, they're going to walk out guys that you are not familiar with. I'm not saying they're not qualified. I'm not saying they're not good. The message is what you are comfortable with. Whether you like or dislike, you expect a certain twosome or threesome or whatever the broadcast team is, whether you're watching any sport. And that's going to change right in front of our eyes this year. So it should be interesting. I happen to believe that we are absolutely blessed right now with some of the best play-by-play broadcasters that we have ever seen. I do believe we're lacking a little bit with analysts, particularly in the NFL. I think Tony Romo's way overrated. I think Troy Aikman is egotistical and selfish, shows up the day before the game or late on his private jet. If you have a game on Sunday, you get in on a Thursday or Friday. That's what you do. You go to practice, you talk to the coach, you talk to the quarterback, you talk to the stars. That's what people do, not Troy. Troy shows up when he wants. Chris Collinsworth, I lost all respect for him when OBJ blew out his knee, and he's like, oh, my God, what are the Rams going to do? Oh, well, I don't know, Chris. Maybe give it to the guy who just hit the Triple Crown as far as receptions, yards, and touchdowns in Cooper Kupp. Chris was just – and it's hard to trust Chris Collinsworth when, regardless of who's out there, he's the best he's ever seen. And then he owns a company in Pro Football Focus who tells us that every player in the NFL sucks. Okay? You do the math there. How does that work out? Dr. Herbie's a joke. Dr. Herbie has never told you one thing you did not know in the NFL. Put on the blue blouse, Dr. Herbie. Doctor up the blue eyes, and go back with Fowler and do your college football homework. So they knocked off one of the best in Greg Olsen. Okay? Greg Olsen didn't get the gig the way that these others got the gig. Greg Olsen got the gig because he's really, really good. Okay? Really good at what he does. And all of a sudden, he's been bounced out. So it's going to be pretty interesting as we take a look at this and we move forward. And, hey, that's the life we do live in. All right, got a lot of NFL news and notes I want to hammer out here coming up on the other side. Also, I feel like I've neglected college football a little bit. We've been really Jaguar heavy. We've been really topic heavy, whether it's been the PGA Tour or everything else that's been going on. I shouldn't say the PGA Tour. I should say the second link of the four majors, the PGA Championship, because it's not the PGA Tour. And more apparently fleeing the PGA Tour. All this talk that Victor Hovland is now on his way out. And can you blame these guys if they're going to take money? You may term it as blood money. That's fine. Can you blame them if they're allowed to play in the majors? Do you think he really cares about playing in the John Deere Classic in Silvis, Illinois, coming up this year? He's going to have to miss out on the players. You saw what the players looked like on a Thursday. You saw the leaderboard. You saw what it looked like on a Friday. That's on Jay Monahan. That's on the commissioner of the PGA Tour. They blew it. And they're blowing it again. And instead of finding a way to put this thing together, they have missed mightily. They have missed. But it appears that he's next, Victor Hovland. And he is on his way. So, you can talk about selling out. Whenever you hear someone immediately say, oh, I would never do that, you know what? In my world, it's almost as if you are the poster child of someone who would, okay? Because the person who says he would never do it, he would never go that way, he would never take that money, you're never going to be in that position where it's going to be offered to you. It's kind of like me saying, if Jennifer Aniston came here to Duval and said, Ballou, take me out to the Blue Crab House, I'd be like, no, I can't. I have a GF at home. Okay, that opportunity is never going to present itself. And it's quite comical how that is. It's always the miserable human being who does that. So, oh, yeah, no, I'd never go. Of course you go. Of course you'd go. You're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, and you can still play in the majors. In the way they treat you there, I always thought they treated folks extremely well here at the PGA Tour. But compared to the LIV, it's not even in the same spectrum. All right, so I do want to get to some college football top 25. They all have one thing in common. I'm going to let you try to guess that before we do return. You should know, if you've listened to me regularly, thank you. But to me, this is a constant in this sport. And it really applies to the post-spring ESPN top 25 list that came out yesterday. Again, I wanted to hammer that a little bit for you on Tuesday, but we were just too busy. Did not get that opportunity. I'm never too busy to get with the good folks at Shmunez Vision. Had lunch with them yesterday and going for an eye examination on Friday. All right, technology and cataract surgery. Don't be dazzled into paying more for laser-assisted cataract surgery. There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of lies that are out there. You need this, the most expensive, newest machine, where it doesn't always apply. What you need is a family business. That's Shmunez. What you need is people you can trust. That is Shmunez. Ask your doctors at Shmunez Vision. Anything that you have that you want to discuss, they are there for you. And oftentimes, these doctors, they bring in their assistants, and they tell you need a cataract, or that you need this, and you need that. Then you want to answer questions, and no, you're going to speak with their counselor. You're not going to speak directly with the surgeon. Speak directly with the individual who is going to perform the LASIK, the cataract, no matter what it may be. That is not the case at Shmunez Vision. Okay? Full medical, surgical, including my right eye 8.5 years ago. Why would you not visit them? Family business out at the beach. Check them out. Shmunez Vision. Care you can see. The great folks at Shmunez Vision. All right, let's do it. Top 25 college football. What do they have in common? I'll tell you on the other side.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Grinnell with time looking long down the field for Jimmy Smith, who's got separation, and he makes the catch. Touchdown!
The home of the home team you grew up with. 1010XL.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
I'm sure many of you guys feel like you wish you could be as fit as you were in your 20s. The dad bod is really tough to shed. I'm Dr. Lance Snyder, and I did something about it through Dr. Rappaport at the Jax Aesthetic Center. I'm active, I played college sports, and I still work out a few times a week. Nothing worked. As a doctor and a dad, I want to be around as long as possible and feel good about my body. Dr. Rappaport put together a personalized treatment plan that worked. It was easy for me to make appointments, get to those appointments, and get back to work in time. I also recommend the Emsella chair for any urinary issues or ED. Dr. Rappaport has some state-of-the-art treatment options for men. And the M-Sculpt Neo is an abs blast. 20,000 crunches in 30 minutes. Give yourself your own gift this Father's Day at the Jax Aesthetic Center. Build muscle and lose fat. Call or text today, 904-808-2455. That's 904-808-2455. You won't be sorry.
How about 75-cent wings every Wednesday night at Bay Street Sports Bar and Grill? Watch tonight's game with signature cocktails and chow down on 75-cent wings, only at the newly renovated Bay Street Sports Bar and Grill downtown.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Everything you need to know about your Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
Every weekday from 10 to noon on 1010XL.
This week only, it's the Memorial Day clearance sale at Art of Natural Stone, with 2 locations on Beach Boulevard and on Phillips Highway. To make room for new product, they're offering clearance sale pricing on pavers, stones, gravel, and travertine. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your outdoor space with top quality materials at clearance sale prices. This week only at Art of Natural Stone on Beach Boulevard and on Phillips Highway, open Sunday and Monday.
If you're an experienced, skilled plumber or welder that's MedGas certified and you're tired of working for a company that just doesn't treat you right, Local 234 is the place for you. Their pay is the best in the business. You'll walk away with $35.09 an hour in your pocket. With benefits, that's just over $50 an hour. Local 234 has been around since 1901, and that means something. Visit UA234.com to send your resume. Local 234, make the right connection.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
The saying goes, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, that is actually true if your neighbor installed artificial turf. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned local company that will take your backyard dreams and turn them into a reality. Caleb can design anything from putting greens to pet runs, and if you have a pool, you'll definitely love maintenance-free turf around it. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today. Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and Lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
All right, guys, be a true grill master with the Sausage Dudes sausage and upgrade that cookout. The Sausage Dudes are guys from Jacksonville who use their family recipes to make better sausage with the best cuts of pork, carefully sourced spices, and natural casings. And the Sausage Dudes are mission-minded, supporting the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida. Try all 4 flavors because your cookout deserves better. Now available at all Publix stores in the frozen meat section. Head to Publix today and get your hands on the Sausage Dudes sausage.
AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Not a theme song I miss. Fox used to do this for baseball coverage. They now just go to their anthem, which is, I think, the best, maybe the best of all time. Most recognizable for Sunday in the NFL. What is the best of all time? Is it that? I think the old school highlight package of Monday Night Football from the 70s was about as good as you'll ever find. That was in the wild world of sports opening, but that was a variety of different things. I'm talking about a theme song by a network for a specific sport. But I do miss that, baseball-wise. Hey, hockey tonight, 8 o'clock, Madison Square Garden, Game 1, Eastern Conference Finals. Florida Panthers on the road against the New York Rangers. That'll be on ESPN tonight. I hope Sean McDonough dons the mic there. Hope so. And Sean McDonough, to me, I know I've talked a lot about broadcasters early on. Sean McDonough, he's like a Mike Tirico to me. I think those are the two bad. Buck's real good in his two, and I mentioned him as far as golf. It just didn't feel the part. But McDonough's been outstanding in golf, if you ever heard him. He's great with hockey, great with baseball, great with college football, pro football, just like Tirico. It's a God-given gift, and I hope he's the man tonight, calling it Game 1. Looking forward to watching it. New York and Florida. All right, let's spend a couple of minutes here on some college football. We're going to get back to the Jaguars. I haven't even mentioned it. Have I done 32 minutes of radio and not mentioned the Jaguars, JJ?
It's been a long time.
Am I going to get fined?
I certainly hope not.
All right. Well, we do have John Osher coming up in a half hour.
Oh, he'll make up for it.
Yeah, so we're going to talk to John about what he saw Monday. I was out at practice with the senior writer at Jaguars.com. So that's 30 minutes away. We'll get there. But it's way too early, and it's good. Frankly, I've always said this. College football, the only time you talk about college football this time of year, it's problematic, right?
Another arrest.
Yeah.
Or someone's transferring or something.
It's conferences doing this, litigation, the ACC, Florida State, Clemson, Florida getting sued. It's just a whole – Dabo Swinney doesn't add transfer guys, getting criticized. It's just one after another. There's never – you really have to look for positive things that are said about the college game. It's amazing how they can't learn from the empire of the NFL. Where the National Football League, I'm actually surprised they didn't come up with their preseason schedule. That should be next. Release the preseason schedule a week before you release the regular schedule, because people around here and around the country would actually freak out about that. The NFL is so brilliant how they don't let any period of time escape without keeping themselves in the news. Matter of fact, there's a lot on the NFL today, including some rule changes and some things like that, which I'm going to get to coming up here momentarily. But college football gets buried. And I think they get more buried now without the first Wednesday in February and the way it really used to be with National Letter of Intent Day. But anyway, the top 25 is out, so it gives you an opportunity to talk about some things. And I was going through it earlier today. Yeah, actually, I went through it yesterday. I just didn't talk on it. And it was like, wow. The top 13 teams in college football, 12 of them return a starting quarterback. Now, there's a few of these schools, and I'm going to go through it, that are bringing in transfer quarterbacks, like DJ Uiagalelei at Florida State, like Riley Leonard going from Duke to Notre Dame. You look at Ohio State, who comes in at number 2, right? Kyle McCord left. He went to Syracuse. They went and got Will Howard, a dual threat. Guy threw for 25 touchdowns at Kansas State. He also rushed for 9 touchdowns. So these are examples of starting quarterbacks who played at other schools. Georgia's number 1 Absolutely. They return Carson Beck. Right now, people believe he will be the top pick selected in the 2025 NFL Draft. Kirby Smart has recruited as well, if not better, than any team in college football. He's used the transfer portal to his advantage. He has arguably the best offensive line this year in college football. And they have wonderful talent on their defense. No problem with Georgia in at number 1. Again, 12 out of 13. The only school who doesn't return a starting quarterback in the top 13 in America, Michigan. Okay? And they replaced their coach. They replaced J.J. McCarthy. I'll get to them coming up here momentarily. Just told you about Ohio State. They're number 2. Ryan Day's won 86.8% of his games since he took over the program in 2019. Here's the problem. Cannot beat Michigan. Okay? Will Howard in from Kansas State. We'll see if that makes a difference. Oh, yeah. How about Chip Kelly leaving UCLA as the head coach to call plays at Ohio State? Typically, that happens when you get fired. You don't leave as a head coach. You don't leave as a head coach, and I'm never going to call UCLA a blue blood in college football. Okay? That would be wrong. But it's still UCLA, and everything's gone wrong there. They can't draw, no attendance, whatever. So you may have forgotten that. Chip Kelly now going to call plays at Ohio State. Texas getting a ton of pub. We saw them make it to the Final Four a year ago with Steve Sarkisian. They may have the best quarterback in college football in Quinn Ewers. We'll see. Oregon, Dan Lanning, he goes and gets Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel is Jason Voorhees. Okay? He is Freddy Krueger. Because it just feels like that's it for Dylan. It felt like it was 5 years ago at UCF. Watched him play at Oklahoma. Now he's going to replace Bo Nix at Oregon. They committed number 4. Number 5, year 3 for Marcus Freeman. Okay? Riley Leonard. Very talented guy. And LSU, we've seen them. They've played Florida State twice. They've played Florida the last couple of years. They're in the SEC. When you think of LSU, 2 things come to mind. Arguably the best offense in college football. Arguably. Defensively, can't stop anyone. All right? Mike Denbrock, the former coach at Notre Dame, former, I don't know, I'm trying to remember if he was actually the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame. He certainly was the game caller at LSU. Well, Marcus Freeman brings him back, along with now bringing in Riley Leonard. So the top 5 teams in all of college football, Ohio State and Notre Dame, have brought in new offensive coordinators. So remember that, because there's growing pains, and there certainly are more when you play on Saturday than you would when you play on Sunday. I don't think anyone out there would argue that. Mississippi's ranked 6th. This just blows my mind. This becomes the first school right now you can say, okay, well, here's your first mistake. You and I will never be alive to watch Mississippi win a national title. The first 5 teams I mentioned, and I'm even going to take Oregon and throw that out. Oregon's never going to win a national title. Oregon may make it into the playoff. They may get to a Final Four. They may get to a title game. We saw Chip Kelly playing a title game years ago when he was the head coach at Oregon. But you're not going to see it. I'm not going to see it. We're not going to see it with Mississippi as well. Mississippi will compete. They'll have big wins. I love Lane Kiffin. If anything, all I cared about right now is that Lane Kiffin doesn't end up in Hogtown. I want Billy Napier to actually win games and keep his job, because I do not want Lane Kiffin at Florida. I don't. And he returns, Jackson Dart. So anyway, Mississippi, that's not going to happen. Bama at 7. It's be an interesting year at Alabama. I mean, Kalen DeBoer was 104-12 in his previous 3 stops. 104. Those are like Urban Meyer numbers, earlier in his career. And he continued that. I should say throughout his career, post-Jacksonville. What was he? Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, Ohio State. DeBoer, 104-12. Jalen Milroe, obviously going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate. So then again, another quarterback. Missouri, Brady Cook. Missouri's not. Come on. What are you trying? Don't Missouri me. You see, when you Missouri me, now I got to Missouri this listening audience. It's a basketball school. Missouri at number 8? Stop it. The Utes. Speaking of Freddie Krueger, Cam Rising is back. I mean, I think Tim Brando, my weekly guest, I think he had 3 or 4 different Utah games last year. And it was almost like a weekly conversation. Is Cam playing this week? Is Cam? No. Well, they got them in the top 10. Again, there's another school right now. You think I'm wrong? Go bet on Utah. Go ahead. Go bet on Utah to win a national title. Go bet on Oregon. Go bet on Missouri. Go bet on Mississippi. Go bet on any one of those 4 schools to win a national title and get back to me on it. Tell you right now, not happening. Not going to happen. Michigan. Okay, Sharon Moore takes over. They got 3 guys fighting for it. The dual threat, Alex Orji, Jack Tuttle, and Davis Warren. I tell you about them, but I'd be lying. I don't know anything about them. The late Bert Sugar, who said those 3, they're not even household names in their own home. Florida State, ladies and gentlemen. Florida State. DJ Uiagalelei. I think Florida State's going to have a big year. I really do. My problem with DJU, accuracy, completion percentage, kind of the same thing. Drops can certainly affect that. And sadly, for Noel fans, it feels like they did not come out of camp being overconfident with DJU. Is he a Band-Aid? Is he enough to maintain, right? Unlike those other schools, Florida State is going to win another national title again, all right? May not be this year, may not be next year, may not be in the next 5, but they're going to win one again. I believe that, just like I believe Florida is going to win another national title at some point. Not going to be anytime soon, but you blow that thing up, bring in Lane Kiffin away. I mean, certain schools are made for it. That's why I laugh at the Oregons and the Utahs and the Mississippis and the Missouris. They're never going to win another one. They're never going to win it. Okay? Florida State is. Their problem is they need someone to step up at wide receiver. You got a lot of names. You got a lot of hope. All right? Their best one, Malik Benson, the transfer from Alabama, went down with an injury during the spring game. Hopefully he's going to be okay. They got the names. They got 5th-year seniors. Frankly, I think there's a little bit of dead weight there. I wouldn't mind seeing a transfer or two, leave the program. But, that is number 11. All right, just to wrap it up, Penn State at 12 brings back Drew Aller. North Carolina State at 13. Yeah, I think them and Louisville could be scary this year in the Atlantic Coast Conference as, this conference is on the cusp of drying up. But they went to Coastal Carolina and got Grayson McCall to take over the center position or under the center. Their former quarterback was here a couple weeks ago throwing during Jaguars rookie minicamp, Brendan Armstrong, right? Remember him at Virginia? He spent last year at North Carolina State. It's just fascinating to me because this wasn't the case a year ago. I do this every year, and I guess I could go back and look through my notes because I save everything. But I can't remember a year where 12 of the 13 top teams in college football all return a starting quarterback. And again, there are 4 of those 13 schools are bringing in a transfer starting quarterback. Still, it is, this is the way that the game has changed. It wasn't that way last year. It absolutely was not that way. And it is the way things look coming up this year. So it's going to be a real good year. And I know you people are getting ready for it. I'm enjoying the summer. I'm going to enjoy every day. I'm not ready for it to be here yet, okay? It will get here, but I'm kind of enjoying the way things are. For just the sake of the list, LSU at 14, right? Garrett Nussmeier, some experience, as we know, playing behind a Heisman Trophy winner. Tennessee comes in at 15. Clemson all the way down to 16 with Cade Klubnik. Some people now starting to get on Dabo a little bit about his ways, about not adding like every other school does. He stays devoted to the guys that he brings in at the age of 18. It's rare. It's absolutely rare. But it's starting to catch up with the Clemson Tigers. We'll see. Kansas State, Oklahoma at 18. Oklahoma State, Arizona at 20. Vatek and Kansas, 21-22. Iowa at 23. Miami, 24. And USC at 25. Miami had a really good transfer portal class. JJ.
Yeah, including getting a guy yesterday from Tennessee, had 6 sacks last year. So they seemingly have the best pass rush in the ACC, and, of course, Cam Ward.
Oh, yeah.
Who many thought was going to go to the NFL, so arguably the best quarterback in the transfer portal as well.
Talked about DJU, completion percentage and accuracy for Cam Ward, and whether they'll admit it or not, I think that was Florida State's first choice, Cam Ward. The issue with him is turning the football over. You know, and apparently a lot of fumbles last year. I didn't watch Washington State play a ton of football, but I did watch them play some football. And, you know, this is a quarterback that could be a first-round draft pick next year and lead the Hurricanes to quite a few victories. We shall see. All right, let's, if you want to respond to that, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Please do. John Osher's 13 minutes away. Jaguars talk coming up at the top of the hour.
It's right here. Hello.
Radio waves sound great when you're next to ocean waves. 1010 XL. Catch the wave.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Prime Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 904-902-8222. 904-902-8222. To regain your sex life in just one visit, call now. 904-902-8222.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and if that sizzling sound made your mouth water, you're in the right place. So let's talk about something sizzling, making a Bacon 180 with a Waken 180. Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying that crisp, savory goodness. Well, it's on the menu at Awaken 180, and one of the many reasons I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180 weight loss. I did it all while still enjoying so many of my favorite foods. The difference is, my coach showed me how to enjoy these foods the right way. Chicken, steak, pork, lobster, they're all on the menu. Awaken 180 caters to any diet or taste profile. Vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, flexitarian. I'm not kidding. That's a thing. They're all covered. The bottom line, if you want to lose weight fast and safe and keep it off with lifetime coaching, then make your own Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Do what I did and Mike Dempsey and Hacker and more than 21,000 others have. Make the change with Awaken 180. Online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Taste Memorial Day with Mayport CNC Fisheries Steamer Pots. This week, take $10 off our unique steamer cans filled with restaurant-quality seafood. Family gathering or special occasion, Mayport CNC Fisheries off Mayport Road brings the taste of the ocean to your table. Ask your favorite restaurant to carry Mayport CNC Fisheries.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 22nd, 1930, Yankees Baseball future Hall of Fame first baseman Lou Gehrig had 3 hits, all being home runs, as the Yankees go on to beat the Philadelphia A's 20-13.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Your cooling system isn't working. Maybe somebody showed up with a portable electronic device. Then they discussed with you what your options are. Maybe they gave you an estimate that seems like an awful lot of money. What's the smart thing to do? When the situation merits a second opinion, get a Mike Merritt opinion. Yes, the Mike Merritt Comfort Team shows up with hand tools. We've never been able to fix an air conditioning problem with a tablet. Mike Merritt has been the trusted name for more than 30 years because there's never any hocus pocus. The Merritt team will walk you through the diagnostic steps up close and personal and show you exactly what you need. And the Mike Merritt price is likely to be far less because there's never an overtime charge, and the Merritt team doesn't work on commission. So remember, when it comes to the health of your cooling system, a second opinion can only help, and a Mike Merritt opinion can save you money. Florida license CACO 50384.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Australia's next. Could be as early as 2025. Take the NFL and down under. I think out of all the trips, that would be the best one. London sucks. You want to go to Germany? Have fun. Mexico? I always enjoy Mexico when I'm on a cruise or whatever. But to cover a football game, yuck. But apparently Australia as early as 2025. Pittsburgh will get the draft in 2026. Next year in Green Bay. All right. We know that at some point the shovel's going to hit the dirt here in Duval, JJ. Let's set.
Even if it is just us putting a shovel in the dirt.
Right. So I haven't gotten clearance on that. Let's set the year. Over and under on the NFL draft being held in Duval. Is 2040? Is that a reach? The year 2040?
No, I think you're right. I don't think it has anything to do with the stadium.
No, you need hotels, you need restaurants.
Exactly. You need a place that people would congregate to. Even though when the draft is in late April, it's sort of kind of cold everywhere else. So this would be the perfect spot for an NFL fan to take in the draft by the beach. But I don't see it happening. Not anytime soon.
They don't have
unfortunately.
They don't have the room at the beach.
Right.
So it would have to be downtown. And, let's say the stadium is complete in 4 years. You can bring the thousands and thousands and send them over there to Tailgater's Bar.
Yes.
Where you can get a Pabst Blue Ribbon for $3.
I hope they're ready for 120,000 people.
You need restaurants, you need bars, you need parking. So they're not ready. So honestly, is 2035 an accurate number?
The Jags have had a stadium downtown their entire history. It hasn't changed downtown, so I don't know.
They may never get it. And they're putting it in Pittsburgh, putting it in Green Bay. I wonder what they're going to do with their Green
freezing.
Bay. Because there's not a lot around the stadium in Green Bay, so which makes me believe they're either going to bring in a bunch of stuff or they're not going to do it at Lambeau. They're going to do it indoors somewhere. I don't know. But the NFL's not signing off on this unless, this thing grows. We saw what it was like in Detroit. There was like 750,000 people there.
Madness.
So, finally, how about this first down tracking system that apparently has been used at a couple of stadiums, Miami and New York? I was never aware of it being. I think it was used, as far as an experiment. It was never actually used and brought down to the officials. But for yardage rulings, they are going to have a tracking system so you no longer trust the chains. And what I want to learn and what you should want to learn is they're trying to prevent human error. Well, spotting the ball becomes that much bigger of an issue. We've all seen bad spots. There's so much emphasis on, is it a first down or is it a third or fourth down? It's never the human error on, you get the ball from the sideline, you throw it to the to the judge, he places the ball down. Is that off by 6 inches? Is that off by a foot? But I like where they're headed here. Take advantage of the technology that you have. And this will have to be voted on. Apparently, it's going to be put in every stadium and used this year during preseason. The NFL typically in situations like this table it. So will it happen for the regular season in 2024? I don't know the answer to that, but I got to believe they're headed in that direction. So that is good news. Speaking of good news, John Osher, ladies and gentlemen. He joins us next. Senior writer, Jaguars.com.
Local and live.
Live?
Live.
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 Because local and live is better.
Oh, right.
1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
For Military Appreciation Month, Nimnik Buick GMC pauses to honor and express our deepest gratitude to the brave service members and their families who sacrifice so much for our country. Frank Frangie here. As a token of their appreciation, Nimnik Buick GMC is extending a special offer, $1,000 total cash allowance to all military personnel and their families on select new vehicles. So shop online at Nimnik Buick GMC. That's Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, I'm not going to pretend I know the specific problems you might be facing when it comes to the prospect of selling your home. Maybe you need more space for your office or a growing family. Perhaps you're worried about selling for less money with a low-ball, out-of-state, instant offer. It's a tougher market. It means it's crucial to hire the right agents to sell your home and maximize your price, and that's why I'm recommending Chad and Sandy Newman, chadandsandy.com. They have the plan and experience to get your home sold fast and get it sold for maximum cash. In fact, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Can you have any more comfort and security than that? Take Tanya in Palencia. I needed to sell my condo fast. I bought a new construction home thinking I had plenty of time to sell. But I listed with another realtor and I got no showings and no offers. I ended up paying 2 mortgages. I then hired Chad and Sandy. I got offers in days and closed in under 30. Go to ChadAndSandy.com and take advantage of ChadAndSandy.com.
Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the smoothest local vodka you can find. Made right here in Jacksonville, Florida, 100% from corn, Brackish Vodka is the local gluten-free choice. Brackish Vodka, for those that live life slightly salty. A proud partner of the Jaguars. Brackish Vodka is now available at the patio on 5th and Ash. The best happy hour on the island. 3 to 6 half-price appetizers and half price on all beer and wine.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The Sign and Drive Green Tag event continues, offering 0% for 84 months with no money down on a John Deere compact utility tractor with loader. Limited time offer. Visit your local Ag Pro today. Offer ends May 31st, 2024. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Andrew Gibson here, sports fans, and the next time you're driving by Kuhn Flowers on Beach Boulevard, why not stop in and smell the roses? Kuhn Flowers has totally changed the face of their store inside and out. Send someone you love a floral arrangement today from Kuhn Flowers.
Hey sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. The NBA playoffs are heating up and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays, and new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sportsbook. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie, and don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
An ACL tear can be a devastating injury with prolonged pain and rehabilitation. Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari. I'm a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon who grew up right here in Jacksonville and then went on to train with the world-renowned Dr. James Andrews. At Bari Orthopedics, we use the most current techniques to get you back on the field with less pain and quicker rehabilitation. We treat all types of sports injuries with the newest techniques available. Please call us for consultation or visit BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, an avocado consultant from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Dave Ortega. Okay, Dave, here's your question. Your house is not bad in the morning, but by the afternoon, your AC can barely keep up, even with the curtains closed. What do you do?
Can I buy a valve?
Not that kind of show, Dave.
Can I spin the wheel?
Yeah, we don't even have a wheel, Dave.
Can I phone a friend? Can I call Bueller?
That's right, Dave. Call Bueller Air and Plumbing to assess your home's airflow and sunlight patterns and let us optimize your air conditioning so that you are cool.
This is the happiest day of my life.
Well, you gotta get out more, Dave.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
All right, John Osher's our guest. Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Oh, the music just firing me up. Game 1 tonight, Florida at New York, the Eastern Conference Finals. John Osher, senior writer, Jaguars.com. What do you say, Johnny O?
Yeah, I'm ready for the Rangers game. I got to be honest with you. I wasn't sure it'd be like this. My mother, who passed a couple of years ago, for some reason picked up hockey back when Ron Duguay was playing, right? So big hockey fan, big Rangers fan. Went nuts when they won it in '94, and I'm kind of following them. I've kind of turned into a little bit of a Rangers fan. So, what a game on Thursday, right, Rick?
No doubt about it. Ron Duguay spent a ton of time here. I think he still lives here.
Is that right?
In Jacksonville. Yeah.
I remember he was married to supermodel Carol Alt, if you remember.
Well, do you know who he's dating now?
What's that?
Do you know who he's dating now?
I do not. I haven't followed it that closely since I was a teenager.
How about Sarah Palin?
Okay, well, that's not my political cup of tea, but good for Ron, I guess.
And actually, it was Kim Alexis. Carol Alt was with another.
Yeah, you're right.
New York Ranger. Yeah. I need to go to TMZ, man. You know, I mean, after 32 years, I think it's time to move. Yeah, but I actually played golf with Ron a few years ago here in town. He's a really nice guy. I know he did a lot of work with one of the New York stations. It might be MSG Network or whatever it was, but I know for quite some time he was in town here. He may still be, but
and he was one of the last to not wear a helmet. You remember because he had he had the black lock flowing.
Oh man, it was a beautiful mane.
It really was a beautiful mane.
If you want to, I know you're a non-betting guy as I am, but if you ever want to win a bar bet, the last NHL player to not wear a helmet, do you know who that is?
I do not. No, I thought it was. I know Duguay was in the conversation because most of them wore him by then, but I don't know.
Well, he played for one of the 4 teams that's still in it. I'm talking about the Edmonton Oilers and Craig McTavish.
Okay.
So there you go.
That's deeper hockey than I can get, Rick. I know the other night was one of the most amazing turnarounds I've seen. Rangers were losing, and all of a sudden they're throwing in empty nets to clinch it, and that's what hockey's all about.
So you're going for New York. You think I could create some hate mail if I say I'm rooting for Edmonton? No, I actually think Dallas is the best team out there, but it's going to be fantastic. You and I both love this sport, especially this time of year.
It's the best. I've always been amazed, Rick, that the sport doesn't catch on more in Jacksonville. It's got everything you love. Violent, I think people who don't like it don't watch it.
Yeah,
because it's everything football fans love, except much, much more violent.
I want to be cautious about this because 2 years ago I found myself really saying a lot of great things about Mike Caldwell and looking at where he had been and things that he had done and what I expected him to possibly bring over from Tampa Bay. We didn't see it. The one thing we did see was obvious takeaways. I mean, that just exploded after the bad 2021 season. But you know, my early impression of the new defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen, extremely animated, very vocal, hands-on. I know it's only one practice that we've had an opportunity to see, but what did you make out of this past Monday?
Yeah, the feedback's been great. I mean, you talk to defensive players. I didn't, but talking to people who talked to them after practice, talked about, the communication, the simplicity of the teaching, meaning simplicity in a way that you can take it out on the field with you. He obviously did a good job with Atlanta. I always hesitate to say that coaching is going to translate in effectiveness because you see it too often. A guy's great one place, doesn't work at another place. We don't know that till the season. What we have is what we can talk about right now. Chris Richard, the secondary coach, also a high-end reputation. Those are two guys who, on paper, should bring a lot to the table, and all the feedback so far is good. I don't want to be the old cynic guy, but I've never been around a new coordinator where the feedback wasn't good after the first day of OTA.
Yeah.
So I don't want to play too much into it, but there's nothing not to like would probably be the best way I could say it.
Yeah. Really interested in who that third guy is coming off the edge. And I know there's a chance that maybe they mix and match a little bit here, but it's so hard for you. It's hard for all of us. I mean, it's not like you can come out and give a full opinion on what you're going to get out of someone like Travis Gibson. But, the more I hear, the more I read, a couple of guests I've had, was with him earlier, including talking with Clay Harbor recently, who certainly very well connected with the Chicago Bears, as well as here in Jacksonville. Had a lot of nice things to say about him. I don't want to say he's been forgotten, but is there been a big enough deal made, in your opinion, about Trevis Gibson?
Probably not, in the sense that, because he's not a name that's been on a lot of lists, whatever internet lists mean,
Mm-hmm.
then people haven't really talked about him a lot. I kind of liken it to, the Arden Key phenomenon. I loved Arden, loved interviewing him. Gaining him, losing him was such a topic for all the Jaguars fans. He's 4.5 sacks when he was here.
Yeah.
But made impact in other ways. Can you go? Did you think he was going to have a major impact when he signed? He was sort of overlooked too, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Can Trevis Gibson come in and give you 5 and 4 or 5 more plays that matter? That's what you're looking for out of a pass rusher. The third guy doesn't have to be a double-digit sack guy. Arden wasn't that. Arden made X number of plays where you went, I remember that. That was a key moment. That's what you're asking from Gibson. I don't know why he can't. That's what they brought him in to do. They didn't really make a similar move last year. So for people wondering what why they haven't done more, this is the financial, philosophical equivalent of Arden Key. This is the third pass rusher move. I don't know why he wouldn't do okay, but again, it's May.
John Osher, our guest, senior writer, Jaguars.com, joins Rick Ballou each and every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Your colleague, Bucky Brooks, talking about Devin Lloyd, said kind of going back to what he did at Utah, search and destroy. Again, we haven't gotten any indication, and we won't until pads go on, but it's a mature guy. He came here when he was 24. He's now 26. What do you make of this positional change for Lloyd?
Well, it's time, and you got to do something. And he had trouble as a rookie with recognition. You didn't hear as much about that last year. Again, he's a mature guy. You got to figure he's probably in his prime years, so he needs to make it happen now. To me, the whole key, or one of the huge bullet points, if you're bullet pointing out Ryan Nielsen's task, unlock Devin Lloyd and get impact from him.
Mm-hmm.
The positional change makes sense. You want to reading, react. I don't want to overplay this element with Devin. The simpler you can make it for any defensive player, the faster they're going to play. If they're telling him search and destroy, we want you seeing the ball, getting the ball. That, to me, has a chance to unlock him for this reason. Whatever the flaws have been with Devin Lloyd's first 2 years, when he's around the ball, good things happen. He has the athleticism when he's in position to make the plays, and he's shown it.
Mm-hmm.
His issue has usually been getting in the right position and not jumping out of gaps, etc. If they're taking those elements away and letting him just play, the more you can do it on that front, you would think the better for Devin.
Last one for you. I actually learned this on Monday when I talked with Ronald Darby. Obviously, I knew him very well when he was a very good corner at Florida State and what he did in Buffalo and Philly early in his career. But I was under the impression in D.C. and in Denver and in Baltimore that he played inside as well. And I'm not going to throw it out there to anyone else, but I've heard it other places. I don't know if I've read it, but I was just under that impression that he could do multiple things. He told me, I am strictly an outside man-to-man corner.
Yeah, it's interesting that he sort of says that. I had the same impression when he first got here as you did, Rick, and then after listening to him in his availability, after looking some things up, it kind of jives what he says. He's an outside corner brought to do that. It strikes you that when they're healthy, it's going to be Tyson and him on the outside with, I think, Jardian Jones having a real chance to win it inside. But, they're going to line up those two on the outside.
Yeah.
And I think the competition will be nickel the intriguing thing with Ronald is always how many games is he going to play? Is he going to be on the field the whole time? Beyond that, he has a chance to be a real dark horse, big time free agent signing. I'm not even sure to compare it to. Maybe equivalent of Darius Williams when he was really going well.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, but a better man guy. Obviously, Darius, that wasn't his strength. But Darby, to me, is one of the quiet guys who can make it a really good free agent class. People are overlooking him because they're assuming he's an afterthought. I don't think the team considers him an afterthought.
John, thank you as always. Enjoy the rest of the week. I'll see you Tuesday over at the Miller Electric Center.
Look forward to it, Rick. Thanks as always.
There he goes, John Osher. Ladies and gentlemen, read all of his material. Just go to Jaguars.com. He is the senior writer.
Take Jacksonville with you.
There's no place like home.
Listen to 1010XL away from home.
Oh, but anyway, Toto, we're home. Home.
Download the 1010XL and XL 92.5 FM apps for free on Apple and Android devices.
Ballou for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
When persistent plumbing problems leave you feeling flushed, don't panic. Call Roland Reish, the one-stop solution for any plumbing problem, residential or commercial. No matter how complex the work, Roland Reish quotes all pricing in advance, so your only surprise is how quickly they'll solve your issue. Whether your pipes are doing a water ballet or you need to hydrojet the whole system, always use Roland Reish Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. From now until May 28th, we're holding our big diamond sale, and now's the best time to buy a quality diamond of a carat or more. Here are a few reasons. First, there's severe upward pressure on rough diamonds, with 4 price increases already this year. Most of this has yet to hit the polished market, so they're diamonds for sale at the old prices. Next, our diamond cutters asked us to house their inventories of existing big diamonds so we could sell them here prior to them being offered to the jewelry trade in Las Vegas. This allows us the ability to sell from their vast stock at brokerage prices you have to see to believe. All of these diamonds are graded for cut, color, and clarity with independent laboratory grading reports. Now, along with this vast collection of big diamonds, we put all of our own meticulously selected loose diamonds and engagement-style rings on sale at prices from 3% to 25% off. We also take trade-ins, but remember, this sale ends May 28th at Underwood San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy, higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And he's listening to the Nimnicht Outdoor Show.
With tips and stories.
Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
Every Saturday morning, 7 to 10.
On 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here, and I want to tell you about Beach's Dermatology. And my doctor, Dr. Metz. I've been going to Dr. Metz for, I don't know how many years, decades. I got the scars to prove it. Listen, gents. I love the beach. I love to play golf. I love Florida. I love to go to my kids' games in the hot sun all weekend long. Summer is basically here, and the sun will be shining. Don't forget your sunscreen. Trust me on this. You need to go get checked out today. It's more important than you think. Give Beaches Dermatology a call online at beachesdermatology.com.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and Clear Skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Are you really even celebrating if you're not getting the Memorial Day meat sweats from Southern Steer Butcher? We're stocked and ready for you. Check out all of our Memorial Day specials online Wednesday to Monday.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Hey, it's Joe C. And when you want to enhance your outdoor space, visit my friends at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They have everything you need, including true flame grills. Visit their showroom or schedule a free home estimate at cssoutdoor.com.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC, Zero Res.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, thank you to John Osher. Always a lot of fun to talk some hockey with John Osher. And of course, you're in Jacksonville. Jaguars chomping at the bit here. I want them to practice more. Our next opportunity is Tuesday. Of course, the holiday on Monday. Have a safe one for you and yours, but we'll be out there Tuesday. So we're off Monday as well. When we get back here on Tuesday, going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. Speaking of fun, Danny Van Sickle with the Electrical Training Alliance is here. How you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. How about you?
Are swamped.
It is a busy, busy, busy time of year for us, for sure.
I know you're not a betting guy, but if you were, it's announced now the Jaguars 8.5 wins during a 17-game schedule. Over under.
Over.
Yeah. I have it 10-7, yeah.
And that's not even trying to be overly optimistic. Just looking at where they're at. I mean, and I'm not saying 14 games. No.
Well, 9 wins, as you know.
I could see that 9-11. Of course, as you saw last year, 9 wins might not be enough. So, you want to get them right around 10-11. I think 10 gets you in a wild card. I think 11 absolutely wins the division.
It's crazy because if they can be a 2-2 team, and I actually have them at 1-3 in their first 4, and even at 1-3, you have the ability to climb out of that as long as you're not an injured team, and as long as you have leaders that will say, "Hey, it's a long season, and let's put it behind us." But I mean, at Miami, home with Cleveland, at Buffalo, at Houston. 4 playoff teams a year ago. You get that right out of the gate, and only one of those is a home game.
Yeah, and I think maybe some of the shine may have come off of Houston. They kind of remind me of Jacksonville 2 years ago, right, where they were the darling of everybody. They come in the next year, they do good to begin with, and then they hit a 5-game losing streak. I could totally see that. But another thing, you mentioned that the injury – Coach Peterson has done a really good job of talking about not getting his people too stressed, too injured. If you look at how they're doing the OTAs and look at how they're doing this preseason, he wants a healthy team. I think that you're seeing injuries be even more and more prevalent in this league. And that's crazy considering that it is more safe than it's ever been. There's more rules for safety. But I think the flip side of that is players are also stronger and faster than they've ever been. And the safety measures haven't caught up to the genetics of how fast and just great these players are. So you still see a lot of injuries. So it's about attrition in this league.
C.J. Stroud throwing no-look passes now and everything. It's viral. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's like, come on, man. Mahomes is Mahomes. Mahomes can do whatever he wants. C.J. Stroud, I know we want a playoff game, but let's pump the brakes here just a little bit.
Yeah, let's give it a little bit more than a year of watching him before we anoint him as the next Montana, if you don't mind.
Yeah, we were talking right before you joined us off air. You've also seen a few things that are viral on the Jaguars' top overall draft pick. I know you're not out there watching them every play, but you've been able to see some things, and you're a big college football fan. You've seen him in person when Florida State played LSU, and also you watched LSU play football. What have you made of him?
Brian looks really good, really smooth. I actually think that the Jaguars knocked out of the park with him and Mason Smith.
Yeah.
I think for those to be their top two picks that they took, I think that you're going to see a noticeable difference on the field. I always thought that Calvin Ridley, because obviously we watched him in college. He was a star there. We saw him when he first got to Atlanta. I really thought he was going to be that take the top off, catch everything person last year, and it didn't quite work out. And I think that when you look at just the top-end speed that this guy's have, listen, there's plenty of guys that can run, but that don't mean that they can catch. And there's plenty of guys that are possession receivers, but they don't scare anybody. This guy can take the top off. He can scare a defensive back. He's smooth. He's twitchy whenever you watch him. He's going to be able to get open. The thing is, we need Trevor to get him the ball. I saw a lot of times last year Trevor throwing balls, and I think he was just trying really hard not to get it intercepted because he would always throw it just above their fingers where only they could get it or it wasn't going to get caught at all. And I think a lot of times the ball just didn't get caught. It was just a little too high. And maybe he was compensating for the fact that they didn't have the speed, so he had to hit them with those hands. Well, now if he drops it in where he should drop it in, he's got a receiver that can catch the ball.
Yeah, there was a something that was viral today on Twitter or X that said Calvin Ridley's real quick, and I responded to it and I said, he's a Hall of Fame practice player. And he was here. I mean, I came on the air every night saying he had one practice where he had 5 drops. It was just a disaster at the Miller Electric Center. But everything outside of that, he was unlike anything that I have seen. Maybe Justin Blackman. If not, you got to go back to Jimmy Smith. And people took it, that soft fan base in Nashville was like, oh, you hate, sour grapes. I'm just spitting out the facts here. Calvin Ridley had a nice season. You look at his numbers, it's a nice year, but he wasn't a game changer. He was a Hall of Fame practice player.
He was, and he had all the intangibles. Like he had the speed, he had the look, he had the side, he had the pedigree. Look at where he come from, right? He was playing with NFL players whenever he was in college. I think everybody's expectations for him last year were a lot higher than what they were. I think a lot of people, and maybe even me included, didn't think about the fact that he was a year out of football. And listen, you just can't drop it and pick it up. It takes time. I thought there would have been enough time through the mini camps and through the fall camp for him to get that back. And it just don't look like to me he was ever quite to get back to where he was before he came.
All right, take us to the streets. Take us to the people that you're involved with each and every day, because I'm amazed. I'm happy for it, but I'm amazed about how the Jaguar fans, how the season ended in early January. Here it is now, third week of May. When it comes to Trevor Lawrence, so many of these who are like, he's not generational, he's never going to be a great quarterback, he's never going to be the difference maker, are all sign him, give him the money, give him the contract extension. I've been, again, let's let him play this year out. What's the hurry? What do you make of this, and what are your pals telling you?
Really, Rick, there's two sides to that argument, two really great sides. I heard you the other day talking about, all the fumbles that he had throughout the year, and, do you want to pay that kind of money to someone that has that? And that's a completely valid point. He hasn't been the superstar, rock star consistently over the last 3 years that we thought he was when he came out. It wasn't just us. If you look at every real, knowledgeable NFL scout, every single one of them said this is a generational talent. There hasn't been this clear of a number one since Vic, whatever. And it hadn't quite been there as that. But I also know this. In this league, what are they going to do? They're not going to not sign them. They're not going to drop them. They're not going to cut them. They're not going to trade for them, right? So the other way of thinking is this. If you're going to pay them anyway, does it really make a difference if you pay them now as compared to paying them in 9 months? Well, you know what? If you're going to pay them anyway, why not pay them now? Why not pay them now and put them in a better frame of mind? Why not pay them now and eliminate any conversations about, oh, Jacksonville's being cheap, or, oh, they're not sure if this is the guy or not? If there was a clear-cut person out there that they could just go out to get, like if it was as easy as going to a store and going to a shelf and, hey, let me get a starting quarterback, here he is, that'd be different. But that is not how this league is. You hear it every year. It's a quarterback league. And you keep thinking, well, eventually things are going to catch up. It's only become more of a quarterback league every single year for as long as I can remember in this game. Give or take a few Brad Johnson years and, those years in Baltimore and in Tampa Bay. Other than that, man, if you do not have not a good, an elite level quarterback, right, you're not going to go far. Well, what are your options with him? You know you're going to have him. You're not going to drop him. You're not going to be so bad, hopefully not so bad that you're drafting so low that you're going to get one. So if you're going to pay him, man. Pay him, restructure that deal, make him happy, let other people let other free agents next year. You got to think long term. And a year from now, you want those free agents thinking, man, not only do they have the Miller Electric Center, not only do they have this new stadium coming up, look at all this bag they gave to Trevor Lawrence. That's where I want to go.
Danny Van Sickle's with us with the Electrical Training Alliance. Their big deadline is coming up in a day. Going to give you that information in just 1 minute. Let's wrap it up with Florida State. It's been quiet. Mike Norvell was here. He's been on the circuit. I was really thinking more attrition, that more guys would get up and leave. Their outgoing interviews, the depth chart being, I think, told honestly, hey, there's 2, 3, 4 guys ahead of you at a position. I still think there's an opportunity after guys graduate. They can still transfer then, and they're allowed to under the NCAA. What's your opinion of the lack of guys who have not gone on?
I think it speaks volumes about what he has there. Listen, the last couple of years, you've seen a lot of people leave, and you saw him bring in a lot of people. And then the next year, you saw a lot of people leave, and you saw him bring in a lot of people. Well, now he's at the point where not a lot of people are leaving, and he's not needing to bring in a lot of people. And it's not because he's anti-portal. He's not Dabo. I mean, then he didn't bring anybody in because he don't believe in it. Quite the opposite. He's been given the reputation as the king of the portal. If you look at what he's done over the last couple of years, that tells me that they are very content and very happy with what they have. The reports out of Tallahassee is that there is tons of speed all over the field, and they've seen it get a little bit better over the last couple of years as far as those twitchiness and those speed guys, not just on offense. I'm talking about even on defense, linebackers being able to fly to the ball. Word, though, now is though they've got more speed than they ever have, and it's starting to look more like those 90 Florida State Seminoles whenever they were just running all over the field. It's still yet to be seen. Listen, Jordan Travis is a huge loss. Huge loss. You can't discount that, right? And not because he was some 6'6" phenom. It's because he was the bona fide leader of that team. He had a heart with that team. You would be a fool to think that there's not some kind of drop-off there, losing him and bringing in DJU. But DJU doesn't have to be some super phenom quarterback. He has to not fumble the ball. He has to get that 3rd and 2. And believe me, I saw him plenty of times. Saw him up close, actually, in Tallahassee. Every time it was 3rd and 3 when he was playing for Clemson, 84,000 people in that stadium knew he was going to get the ball, and Florida State still couldn't stop him, and he got the ball, right?
He's like the late Pooh Bear Williams.
Right. So you do the same thing this year. Last year, 3rd and 3, you were kind of hoping, and you felt pretty good that Travis was going to find somebody in the flat and pick up 6 or 7 yards. You were always worried about him running because you didn't want him hurt because you knew you didn't have a whole lot behind him as far as experience. Well, now with DJ coming in, you want him to run. You got a couple quarterbacks behind him that have a little bit of game time, and then you have another quarterback hadn't played this year, but it's considered one of the best one in the crop last year. So when you add all that together, I think they're going to go undefeated this year. I think that's an unrealistic expectation whenever you look at the schedule. Listen, you're not going to go undefeated every year, but unlike all those years that me and you had our heart broken when they were the best team at the end, but they had 1 or 2 losses, with this playoff, you can have one loss, maybe even two losses, and still get in that playoff. So now you're not looking at, let's make sure we don't lose a single game all year. Now it's, how can we be healthy at the end of the year and only have one or two hiccups along the way?
All right, it's a huge day tomorrow at the Electrical Training Alliance. I know you just had another graduating class, but let the listeners know, top to bottom, this incredible opportunity, and the deadline is ticking.
Well, first of all, we had our graduation ceremonies last week. And we have a really big event with our graduation. We actually partner with the other trades in Jacksonville, the other union trades, and we have a very big graduation event. We had over 800 people at the Prime Osborne for that event. Our group alone had over 55 graduates that walked across the stage, right, and finished the apprenticeship. Tomorrow is the deadline for the summer class. We have beaten all projections on applications this year, and it's kind of a two-headed coin. In one scenario, you like the fact that you've had so many applications. That means you're reaching more and more people. That means you're going to have a bigger pool to pick from. But the flip side of that coin is there's a lot of people that, we might have to say no to. And we're not sure right now how many we're going to take in because that number fluctuates based on how much work that we've had. There's been years that we took in 30. There's been years we took in 130, right? What we do know is this. Right now there's a lot of work in this area. We're projected to have a lot of work in the next couple of years. We anticipate it being a larger number, but we're not sure what that is. But if you haven't got your application in, if you haven't got everything in, you still have a day to do it. Tomorrow is actually a deadline. I'm glad we're doing this today because the timing worked out perfect. You still have a day to get it in. It's done online, so you don't have to come down to our facility. You go to our website, etajax.org. You'll see apply here everywhere on that website. It's real easy to complete an application. As long as you get it in by 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and it's complete, you'll qualify for the aptitude test.
And it applies to everyone. If you're getting out of high school, you don't know what you want to do. You're in college, it's not working. Money's an issue. You're in a career right now that you need a change. This applies to everyone.
Everyone from 18 years and older, and if you're 17 and you just graduated high school, maybe you don't turn 18 until July or August, you can apply as well, right? So you got to have your high school transcripts whenever you apply with us. Obviously, someone that just graduated high school or maybe graduates next week, they don't have their high school transcripts because they're not finished with their high school yet. Or if they just got finished or hadn't been time to process those transcripts. We still allow those to apply with us. And if they don't turn 18 until July, we just won't put them to work until July. But don't let that be a reason not to apply. But it can be, the minimum age is 18. But we get people in their 30s and 40s that want career change and look at how much money they can make. They've plateaued at their job and they say, you know what, it's not too late for me to make a change. Let me do this.
Outstanding. And all you got to pay for is some books.
That's it, man. Tuition is free. It's paid for through our local union and through our contractors. They work together. That's why we're called a joint apprenticeship program. They work really good together, and we provide a top-notch education experience for young men and women in Jacksonville.
In a field that's just continuously growing. I mean, look around. Everywhere that you go in this city, there's more need for electricians. All right, deadline tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Once again, to our listeners, how do they apply?
Just go to our website, etajax.org. You'll see pictures, you'll see videos, and in several places on that website, you'll see a big bubble that says apply here. We try to make it easy as possible. Click on that, start the application process, and get your information in.
Always good to see you.
Glad to be here.
Danny Van Sickle, the Electrical Training Alliance. With you tonight till 8 o'clock, JJ LaSalva. My name is Rick Ballou.
Some say they were separated at birth.
Hey, you guys are brothers, huh?
Yeah. Others say they're brothers from different mothers.
Hey, what is this, a family business or what?
They're not twins. They are Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser. Mornings on 1010XL.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Smooth sailing and a smooth taste of Vida de Luis, an all-natural tequila made with volcanic spring water and aerated to provide a smoother finish. Go to VidaDeLuis.com and set a course for smooth living today.
See the world through the eyes of a linebacker.
I tell it like I see it, and I see it like a middle linebacker.
Tom McManus joins Jaguars Today every Friday morning.
Period.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
International soccer returns this summer. Don't miss your chance to see teams from the biggest league in the world in Jacksonville as they compete for the Stateside Cup. Be there when Premier League clubs Wolves and West Ham take the pitch July 27th at Everbank Stadium, home of the Jaguars. With the series trophy on the line, competition will be fierce. Tickets on sale now for as low as $35 at StatesideCup.com.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Get this. Joey and me were supposed to go to this concert next week, right? But then something terrible happened. Joey was driving without a seatbelt. But he didn't wreck. No, he got pulled over. Now Joey has to pay for a seatbelt ticket instead of a concert ticket, and I have to go by myself. How lame is that? So Joey, if you're out there, you're an idiot. Wear your seatbelt or you'll get a ticket.
All across the country, cops are cracking down. Click it or ticket, day and night.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, an avocado consultant from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Dave Ortega. Okay, Dave, here's your question. Your house is not bad in the morning, but by the afternoon, your AC can barely keep up, even with the curtains closed. What do you do?
Can I buy a vowel?
Not that kind of show, Dave.
Can I spin the wheel?
Yeah, we don't even have a wheel, Dave.
Can I phone a friend? Can I call Bueller?
That's right, Dave. Call Bueller Air and Plumbing to assess your home's airflow and sunlight patterns and let us optimize your air conditioning so that you are cool.
This is the happiest day of my life.
Well, you gotta get out more, Dave.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loans, and personal loans. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. So call now, 904-999-1508, 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
At least Led Zeppelin, during their days of bringing in the organ, let John Paul Jones do it, right? Unlike Van Halen, where they had Eddie do it. I don't know. How can you have Eddie Van Halen on organ? I know at the end of, Jump or whatever, he grabs the guitar, but you go to some of the classic stuff that Led Zeppelin does, it's one of the greatest bassists of all time, John Paul Jones, on organ. So I'd throw that out there. Thank you to Danny Van Sickle talking about DJU. Here's the 4493 who says it's pronounced DJ. Throw it away. I don't know. That 56% completion percentage, that absolutely has to improve if Florida State's going to make a run. No doubt about it. It's got a ton, and I haven't had an opportunity to mention it. But Tirico and McDonough were roommates at Syracuse? No way. McDonough's older. Are you sure about that? Can you look that up, JJ? I mean, McDonough and Tirico? Wouldn't you assume that Sean McDonough is at least 10 years older?
No, I think Tirico's pretty old.
Really?
Just because if you watch, that old clip of Brady being drafted, he was doing the draft.
Well, maybe I'm not scarred. Maybe I'm misleading it a little bit because Sean McDonough, at such a young age, got the voice of the Red Sox. I mean, he was probably 21, 22, 20, and his dad was Will McDonough, the first information man ever in the NFL with the Boston Globe, and he went to NBC, a tremendous football writer.
All right, so Tirico's 57, McDonough is 62.
Okay.
And I didn't see anything about them being roommates.
Yeah. I know they both came out of that, incredible communications program there at Syracuse. Will McDonough was also the campaign manager for Whitey Bulger's brother, Billy Bulger.
Now, was that for mayor?
No, he was a state representative. I don't know if he was a governor or a senator. I don't remember what he was. He became the president of the University of Massachusetts. But that is one of the biggest parts of maybe the untold story of Whitey Bulger when he controlled the Irish mafia. The Angiulios and the Patricias controlled the Italian mafia in Boston and in Providence, Rhode Island. But he was an informant, an FBI informant, and controlled the Irish mafia, yet his brother was one of the most powerful members of government in that same city. I don't think that part gets told nearly enough. Hey, there's going to be a press conference tomorrow in Louisville. They are going to, apparently here, the police department, they have additional video footage.
Oh, no.
By by someone, a fan or whatever, someone who was in the crowd. I'm trying to remember what the term is. I should know this as a criminology grad, even though back when I went to school, they didn't have it. But the body camera, the police officer's body camera was not on. Okay? And so that's been a little bit of a story. Why didn't they have the body cameras on? And apparently that didn't happen, but I don't know what to make of this. First of all, when I look at, and I don't know Scotty Scheffler from a hole in the wall. I know him as everyone else does, what we've seen. He doesn't seem like the type of guy
Who will run a cop over?
Yeah, or
yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean.
agree.
But to be like mouthy at a cop.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem like that's.
He's never been like that in his life. Like, there's no way he's mouthed off to a cop in his life.
But in order for them to announce tomorrow that they're going to have a press conference with video from someone who was there, doesn't that kind of get you to say, all right.
They're trying to justify the arrest.
What's up here?
Yeah, I think that he probably did something screwy with his car and maybe, like, thought this guy was just a security guard, not a cop or whatever. I don't think he hit the guy and ran him over. But we're about to find out. I just think that whatever he did, I am assuming that he didn't have any, like, criminal intent with any of this. This is like, I don't know. He just seems like a genuinely good guy. He gives all the glory to God in all his interviews. He doesn't strike me as a guy who's like, oh, look at this cop up here trying to, direct me a certain way. I'm just going to forget him. I'm going to roll right past him. Like, that's something I would do, like that. Not Scotty.
So it could be an interesting day tomorrow.
I would never do that, by the way. I'm deathly afraid of the police. So.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued.
I am too. That's why I just finished. I mean,
I think that they had like an internet rumor that was like, oh, the charges are going to get dropped. And they came out vociferously and were like, hell no. Yeah. That's not what's happening here. So he obviously did something.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting with this story coming at us tomorrow. Also talk a little bit about Paul Skeens tomorrow night. He's going to get his third start. He's got the splinker, right? It's the combination of a splitter, and it's either a cut fastball or regular fastball. But there are odds out on him on strikeouts for the year and wins for the year. And it came from our buddy Rafael Esparza from mybookie.org. So we'll mention it tomorrow night, then we'll get his opinion, see where the money's going on this. That should be pretty intriguing coming up on Thursday night as well.
So much life on his fastball, man. Like, that kid is a freak. He's going to be an all-star probably 10 times at least.
It's got a little bit of movement.
A lot.
It's fun to watch. And, Pittsburgh, small market, kind of hovering around, or you can call it a small market. They run their baseball team like it's a small market. All right, hey, what a night. All right, it begins coming up here in about 15 minutes or so. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. It is the Florida Panthers in New York to take on the New York Rangers. Game 1 of the best of 7 there. Tomorrow night, it'll be Edmonton in Dallas. Game 1 in the Western Conference Finals. Also, as we slide on over to the NBA, we saw Boston win in overtime last night at home against Indianapolis. Tonight, Game 1 in the Western Conference Finals. It'll be the Dallas Mavericks against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Finally, in Dallas, they're on opposite days. I know that, the Bruins got knocked out against Florida. The Heat got knocked out. The New York Knicks got knocked out. Both Colorado, the Avalanche, and the defending NBA champion Denver Nuggets were in it in the last round. They both got knocked out. But I think you had 5 cities that had teams in it in both hockey and basketball. Well, there's only one left, and that's Dallas. And it was incredible because it felt like the first 2 rounds, whenever the Dallas Stars played, the Dallas Mavericks played. Can you imagine what that must be like as a fan to have both those games? Well, it's flipped now, as we know. All right, Dallas and Minnesota tonight on the hardwood. The Stars will be on the ice tomorrow night against the Edmonton Oilers. So that's going to do it for us. I don't check the text line now that the show is over. You can always get me on Twitter or X. That's Ballou1010XL. Thank you to Danny Van Sickle. Thank you to John Osher for producer. JJ LaSelva. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll talk Thursday at 6 o'clock.